I want to cover the step-by-step process on how to actually complete the application process so you can apply for your dealer's license. And we will cover this extensively in your dealer training class. So there are basically 4 steps we need to be aware of. Once you've completed all the pre-licensing steps, you'll need to mail all of your documentation to the Board of Used Dealers in Macon. Then you're going to receive an email that your license has been approved. And at that time, you'll need to download your actual license from the Secretary of State. And then there's one more step that you must now complete, and you're going to need to register at e-services so you can order your dealer plates. And we will go into this extensively in your dealer training class, but I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that right now. Okay, so you're going to take all the documentation that we're getting ready to complete here, and you're going to put it in a great big envelope, throw a couple stamps on it, and you're going to mail it to the Board of Used Motor Vehicle Dealers in Macon. Now, before we get started here, you need to make sure that you're answering all questions truthfully, because if you submit any false application on a dealer license application, it's a minimum $500 fine, and you could be charged with a misdemeanor. So no matter what, you want to make sure that you're submitting all information that is accurate and true. Now, when you're answering questions, you're not just answering for yourself, but every single person whose name will basically be on the license. So false statements can also lead to future license suspension. So even if you got a license and they find out you lied on your application later on, they could come through and actually suspend or revoke your license. And that's something that we certainly don't want to have. Now, when the dealer training manual that you get on the day of the class, whether you are getting ready to take the class or maybe you've already taken the class and you're watching this video as a review, I will have a checklist for you there. But you want to make sure that you have your notarized dealer application with the fee. That's going to include the zoning certification, the bond and power of attorney, your certificate of insurance, your ST-2 sales tax certificate, the photographs of the lot sign and the office as well, including your building, your dealer training course certificate of completion, which you get at the end of your dealer training class, proof of fingerprint registrations. You're going to need to submit what's called a secure document, which is going to be your driver's license or some type of ID. And if you're not a legal citizen of the United States, you have to have a citizen affidavit and then any immigration documents if that's applicable to you. And if there's any arrest convictions, you can certainly find that paperwork at the county that you committed the offense in. And I want you to really be aware the state is very forgiving. Okay, so we're going to talk about the exact reasons that could get a license denied. You know, the board is really looking for hard financial crimes. I mean, if you rolled back an odometer last year, that's going to be a lot more serious than if you were maybe involved in a drug crime 15 or 20 years ago. So the state's very forgiving. They're really looking for financial crimes, forgery, embezzlement, or motor vehicle related crimes. So there's many other crimes that will basically be forgiven. So let's take a look at this dealer application. And I'll show you how to download this here in just a little bit, and we will complete this in your class if you haven't already taken a training class yet. So let's go ahead and magnify this. And first of all of us more than likely are going to be checking the initial application for licensure. So this is that used motor vehicle dealer license. Now, a used motor vehicle dealer license will require you have a business location and the lot. Now, as we're going to discuss several times in the class, you might want to get your motor vehicle broker endorsement. So if you check the box down here, that will allow you to operate with a business location without a lot. Okay, so no matter what, you're going to be getting a used motor vehicle dealer license, which requires you to have a location and a lot. But if you select to have the motor vehicle broker endorsement on that license, then you can operate without a lot as well. Okay, so we're always going to leave this top section blank here. That's where a licensing analyst with the Secretary of State in Macon will complete some information there. So you're going to put your trade name here. This is what you're doing business as. And then you're going to put your federal employment identification number here. So you cannot submit this application without your federal employment number. And I'll show you how to do that in class. So you're also going to put your personal home address here. This is your home address that goes in first, along with your social security number and your date of birth. Then you're going to put the best mailing address for you. And just below that, you want to make sure that your email is correct. I mean, what I mean by this, double check every single letter. Make sure these letters are very legible. This is going to be one of the main ways that the board licensing analyst or the board itself will contact you if there's any, something wrong with your application or if there's problems with your license. They'll let you know about it. So make sure, double check this. Make sure, number one, that all the letters on your email are correct, and make sure the letters are very, very legible. Take your time entering the letters here so the state will have your correct contact information via email. Here's your physical location Okay, that's where your license is actually located. And it says right there, it cannot be a P.O. box. Okay, that's got to be where the license is actually located. That's a physical address. Next, you'll enter your landline telephone. Remember, all dealers have to have a landline. Cell phones don't qualify. Voice over internet phones don't qualify, and you can't use another business's landline. You got to have your own landline for this dealership, and it's got to be listed in the dealership name. And just below that is the number that you can enter, and this is what the Secretary of State inspector is going to contact you for your lot inspection. Okay, so here's your official landline telephone, which is required by law. And this is an alternative phone number, such as maybe your cell phone or something like that, so the state can get a hold of you directly when the Secretary of State inspector is going to come in and do your lot inspection, which we'll talk about extensively in your dealer training class as well. Okay. Now, just below this, you're going to enter your sales tax number. So remember, as we talked about in the first section of the class, you have to get your sales tax number. We show you exactly how to do that in class as well. That's your ST-2 certificate, and that'll have your sales tax number. And you cannot get a dealer's license without a sales tax number because you collect sales tax. You're a vendor for the state, and you have to have a sales tax license. Now, we're going to need to make sure that you're answering absolutely every single one of these questions correctly, okay? And I want to remind you, as I stated just a moment ago, making false statements on a dealer license application, a minimum $500 fine, and you could be charged with a misdemeanor. You could commit a crime if you do not submit this information truthfully, accurately, and correctly. Not just for you, but for every other person whose name is going to appear on the license as well. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Is there another business operating at this location? You know, let's just say, for example, maybe you've got a repair shop or something like that, If there's another business at that location, you have to clarify exactly what that other business is, okay? But no matter what, you always want to make sure your business is basically separate. And what I mean by that, let's say, for example, maybe you're right next door to a repair shop, or maybe you operate a repair shop. You want to make sure that your repair shop customers never park their vehicle on your lot if you do have a lot, and vice versa. Because, when you have a lot, the state basically wants to make sure that the vehicles on your lot are in your inventory, and they don't want a neighboring business's customers parking their vehicles on your lot, and then someone thinks that vehicle's for sale. That's some confusion the state wants you to avoid, okay? So you always want to make sure that your inventory is separate from any other customers parking, or maybe your own business's other customer parking. Make sure they don't ever park on your lot and vice versa, okay? Now, they want to know if anyone on this license has ever previously been issued a license as a used motor vehicle dealer, or have you held a business interest in another license? So you need to put that name, the business name, and the period of licensure. Now, here's where we get to where you really want to make sure that you're answering accurately, okay? Have you ever had a license suspended, revoked, or otherwise sanctioned by any board in any state? Okay, so if you ever had any type of disciplinary action against you, not only in the state of Georgia, but if you had a license in another state, then the board wants to know about that, okay? So have you ever been denied an issuance of a license? So you'll need to let them know about that. And you will need to definitely attach explanation and explain which person to which this applies, okay? Conviction or arrest. And let's talk about this. Has a designee or anyone holding an ownership or financial interest in this business ever been arrested, convicted, or sentenced for any felony, misdemeanor, including DUI or DWI? So technically, if you've ever sat in the back of a police car under arrest, this is going to apply to you. Now, don't worry about some things here, because if you've had a DUI, that's not going to keep you from getting a license unless it involves if you were stealing a car while you're drunk or something like that, that would be a different level there. But, the state's looking for, automotive crimes, and we're going to get a link on the website to those offenses on the Secretary of State website. There's actually a link there, and we'll be posting that on the dealer forms page here, so you can check out exactly what crimes, if you've committed, will keep you from getting a license, okay? And I also want you to be aware, if for some reason you're denied a license, you do have the ability to appeal that denial, and you could go to the board in Macon and testify and let them know exactly why you think that you should have a dealer's license. Maybe you committed a crime in the past and you've changed your life. The board will listen to that. And on that day, though, however, if you do go to Macon on any type of appeal for your denial, if this does happen to you, you want to come prepared with all your paperwork and that's your day, as the board states. That's your day to let them know why you should have a second chance. So please keep that in mind. So don't forget to attach any documentation here. And they want to know also, if you have had any type of court sanctions or anything like that, or any type of court convictions, if you need to provide documentation, you can usually find that at the county that the offense occurred in. Okay, if you need to look up that documentation. And there on number 4, hopefully, I sure would appreciate your business if you haven't taken our class already, if you're thinking about taking a class. Once you've set through the entire 4-hour class, if you can put up with me for 4 hours, you'll graduate and you'll get that certificate. So hopefully you'll check yes there on number 4. Remember, you can't get the license without the pre-licensing application, the pre-licensing certificate of completion. Have you registered for your fingerprints? So we talked about that in the video before this one. You've got to register for your fingerprints, and they'll be able to look that up and make sure that you have registered. So you have to register for fingerprints, submit your application, and then the state notifies you to report to your fingerprint location for your actual fingerprints. Now here, I want to show you, you're going to only complete one of these 3 boxes here. And so with that being said, if you are a sole proprietor, you'll only enter the sole proprietor information. If you're an LLC or corporation, you'll enter information in the 2nd box. If you're a partnership, then you'll enter it in the 3rd box. You don't fill out 2 or 3 of these boxes. You only enter one. Sole proprietors will complete the top box. Corporations or LLCs will complete the information in the middle box. And then if you're a general partnership, you'll complete the information in the final box. Now, if you are an LLC or corporation, then you're going to submit this document, and this is all on one long PDF, and I'm show you how to download this. But if you're a partnership or sole proprietor, then you wouldn't complete this document. It's this part of the document. It's only for corporations and LLCs. Now, as we show you how to download this is the partnership document right here. Okay, this is called the partnership affidavit. Only complete this if you're a partnership. So you wouldn't complete this if you're an LLC, corporation, or sole proprietor. So only if you're a partnership, otherwise you would leave this form of the dealer application blank. You're going to need to certify that you are either legally able to work in the United States or that you have a current driver's license. So you have to either be a U.S. citizen or be in the United States legally. So if you are an immigrant, then you just need to basically let the state know that you have a green card. So you either have to be a legal citizen in the United States, or you have to basically be able to show that you are here legally as well. This is your zoning certification, and I'm going to talk about this, especially in class. This is a document that you're going to need to run into your zoning authority at your city, hall, or county, and they're going to need to sign this. And this is going to show the state that you have met all local zoning requirements. Okay, so this is a part, we'll talk extensively about that in your dealer training class as well. And notice that all these documents have to be notarized. Okay, so you're going to have to have these documents notarized. So we'll talk about that as well. Here's your bond information. And I really want you to be aware that not only are you going to be submitting your bond, you're going to be submitting what's called your power of attorney. You can see that there at the bottom there. So your insurance or bonding company should be able to assist you with this. And we'll talk extensively about that in your dealer training class. So not only are you submitting your bond, but you're also going to submit your bond and your power of attorney to that bond as well. And in your class, I'm going to give you a real big, long checklist of everything that you're submitting to the board. So we've got a checklist for you. You come into the class, I'll give you a big, extensive checklist, not only on how to apply for your license, but also the paperwork that you're going to use when you're getting your license, and so on and so forth. Hey, with that being said, if you need to download these forms, you can go to georgiadealer.com. Just click on the Georgia Dealer form. So on any page, you can just go down at the bottom of georgiadealer.com and click on Georgia Dealer forms, and you'll easily be able to download all that information right here by clicking on the Georgia Dealer License application link right there. So you can easily download that. Now, I want you to be aware when you are applying for your license, you cannot forget to send your payment for your license. Okay, so sometimes dealers will pack everything in that envelope and they'll forget to actually send the payment for the actual dealer's license itself, which is $170 plus $10 processing fee. So you're submitting a check or money order for $180. So don't forget that, and that'll be on that checklist that I give you in your dealer training class. Okay, so when you've gathered all that documentation up and completed all your pre-licensing steps, you're going to put it in a great big envelope with a couple of stamps, and you're going to mail it to the Georgia Board of Used Motor Vehicle Dealers. That's 237 Coliseum Drive, Macon, Georgia 31217. Now, once the board has received that, they're going to review it, but you want to make sure you try and get this in about 15 days before a board meeting, so that way it can get onto the schedule. Okay. So normally they'll review it within 15 days, depending on when they meet. Okay. So, and I'll I'll show you how to find that schedule in the dealer training class as well. So I do want you to be aware, if there is a deficiency, which means if there is something missing with your application, the state's going to notify you. So you definitely want to be aware that if they state maybe you forgot your photographs or something, that's called a deficiency letter. You've got to respond. If you do not respond within 60 days, they will basically take your application packet and throw it out the window. Okay, so I don't mean to be blunt, but you need to respond. Okay, so if for some reason you don't respond to a deficiency letter because there was something missing in your dealer application packet, they will not approve your license, and you will have to submit that documentation again. So definitely watch that email or your home address, wherever they're going to be sending that information to. Okay. Remember, you may not legally perform services as a dealer until you hold a license. So you want to make sure that you don't start operating until you are actually approved by the board for your license. And I'll show you how to download that license here in just a little bit. I know you're probably gung-ho, ready to start the business. You probably want to go out and start buying vehicles and things like that. Well, definitely wait till you get your license. And that way you're not going to have to pay the taxes on those vehicles initially. So we'll talk about that extensively in your class. So this is kind of how it works here. The board is going to get your application envelope, okay, with all your documents in there. They're going to do a quick review of it. Then they're going to contact you via email to report to your fingerprint location so you can get your fingerprints. And then you are contacted to set up your lot inspection. And that's where a Secretary of State inspector is going to contact you, and they're going to come out and make sure that your sign's correct. You know, they're going to make sure that you have some office furnishings in your office and a file cabinet. Remember, make sure you got that file cabinet in your office. And then once this has happened, the board's going to contact you, and congratulations, you've been approved for your dealer's license. Okay, so we got a couple more steps here. Once the board has contacted you that you have your license approved, what we're going to need to do is jump onto the Secretary of State's website and print up the actual license itself. And I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Okay. So there's a couple of ways that you can print your license up, and I'm going to take you through the route through the Secretary of State's official webpage first. But if you want to just Google the Georgia Used Motor Vehicle Dealer Board, you'll be able to access as well. But if you just start out by going to the Secretary of State's office website, sos.ga.gov, you can just click on licensing, and then you'll be able to go down here, click on Georgia Licensing Boards, and go down to Transportation and Security. Are you following all that? And then you're going to jump and click on Used Motor Vehicle Dealers. And that's going to land you on the official Georgia State Board of Registration of Used Motor Vehicle Dealers. I call this the dealer board, okay? Now, you can Google this as well. So you can just go to Google, type in Georgia Used Motor Vehicle Dealer Board, and you'll probably land on this page right here. So when you get to this page, you're going to click on Licensing Services, check Application Status, and it's going to take you to the licensing page of the Secretary of State's website. And I want you to be aware, to download your license, you're going to have to create a username and password here, like any other secure website. So once you create the username and password, then bam, you're going to be able to print up your dealer's license. And this is what your dealer's license is going to look like. And you need to display this dealer's license prominently. So we'll talk about this extensively in your dealer training class. You're going to be displaying your dealer's license, your local business license, your sales tax certificate, and your dealer surety bond as well. Okay, so here's your license. Congratulations, you've gotten that license. You worked hard to get that license, and I'm sure you're going to be real proud of it, and you must display it prominently. So show that thing off. State law requires it is displayed in your sales room or your office, okay? So as a reminder, I'm going to talk about this in class extensively. If you haven't already taken the class, there are mainly 4 documents you'll be displaying. You're going to display your dealer's license, your sales tax license, that's your ST-2 certificate, your local business license, and your dealer surety bond. So frame those babies, put them up in your office. They must be displayed prominently. And I want to show you right now, there's one other level of the dealer licensing process that just went into effect in 2021, okay? And I want to show you what's called a bill. You're probably aware of this, but this is how the legislature works. You know, when the legislature is meeting in session, you know, you'll either have a state representative or a state senator. They will introduce a bill, and a bill is an effort to change a law. Well, a bill will first show the current law. And as you can see right here, this is Georgia statute. Okay, this is Georgia law right here. Anything that's not underlined is currently the law. And I want to magnify this for you here. So a bill will have a new line of statute that they're trying to get into Georgia law. Okay, and as you can see right here, by electronic means. So the new bill that passed wants dealers to register by electronic means, and that's what requires one additional step now because the governor did sign this. So there's no longer a line on this bill. It is a actual law now. It's no longer a bill. It's been passed by the legislature, and it is now a law, which adds one final step to the dealer licensing process. And what step is that? Well, it's going to be registering your business at the Department of Revenue's e-services. Okay, so I'm going to show you this process here, very step by step, and it's going to walk you through here. Okay, but with that being said, you'll need to register when you get your dealer's license. You have to register with e-services with the Department of Revenue, and then order your dealer plate. So technically, this makes sure that you have a dealer's license before you can order your dealer plates. Okay, so keep this in mind. You got it. This is one final step, and I'll cover this extensively in your dealer training class if you haven't been through yet. Before we do this, I do want you to be aware there are a couple of additional documents that you're going to need to complete at this time, including your dealer license plate order form. Okay, so we're going to complete MV-6. This is your dealer license plate order form. And when you're applying for your dealer's license, you're going to be allowed to get up to 3 dealer plates when you initially apply. Okay, now later on when you're renewing and things like that, if you've got this huge sales volume and you need more, there's another form you can fill out. But let's go ahead and take a look at this initial one. This is your initial dealer license plate order form, okay? And once you've gotten your dealer's license and you want to go to e-services and register and then order your dealer plates. Let's take a quick look at this form here. You're going to put your business name, you know, what you're doing business as, your Gmail address, your email address. It seems like they're all Gmail, so maybe it is called your Gmail address anymore. But you're also going to put your landline telephone there, tax identification number, your U-Car number. When you get your dealer's license, you're going to get a U-Car number, so that's your dealer number. Okay, that's very important that you remember that. And your main master dealer plate is $62, and then each additional plate's $12. Remember, you can get a maximum of 3 when you're getting your license for the first time. So most of you are going to be doing a dealer plate, independent dealer, and let them know if you're a retail dealer or possibly an auto broker, one of those two there. Okay, and as we scroll through here, you're going to need to sign this and date it. And then here's the back of the form in case you need any instructions and things like that. And once again, you can download all these forms at georgiadealer.com. Just click on the dealer forms page at the bottom of any page. Later on, when you have become established and you're renewing or whatever, and you need more plates, you can submit MV-6B if you have had a huge sales volume and need to order additional dealer plates. You're also going to need to, at this time, indicate your authorized agents. Okay, this might be someone else who's going to be using your dealer plates. Okay, so this would be like an authorized agent that can operate on a dealer's behalf, or general manager or something like that. Okay, so that's MV-6A. So if you do have other authorized agents that you want to be able to use your dealer plates, and we cover dealer plate license usage extensively in your dealer class. Okay, so make sure and fill this out, and then what we're going to do next is state that you are definitely a U.S. citizen or legally able to work in the United States. That's for each person who's going to be an authorized agent. Okay, you can download all this information, georgiadealer.com. Click on the dealer forms, and you've got links to everything right there. So what we're going to do, I want you to be aware, we're getting ready to apply on e-services. Very easy to do, but you're going to need to scan some documents because we're going to have to upload them through e-services. Okay, now I recommend that you scan every single document that you had in that dealer licensing envelope. You'll scan every single one of those, okay? And you're also going to have your dealer plate order form and any authorized agent forms and your actual dealer license itself, okay? There's a list there, and I'll have that list in the book. When you come in and take the training class for us, we've got extensive checklists all throughout the manual that you're going to be taking with you. I'm going to do my very best to make it as easy as possible for you to apply for your dealer's license after the class. So in the manual that you're going to get, the copyrighted manual is going to have tons of checklists for you to just go right down the checklist to make sure you have all the documents to apply. And once you've applied and got the license, and everything's going to be smooth sailing after that, I predict. Okay, so you're going to basically scan these docs. That's your dealer tag application, your add authorized agents. You're going to need to show that you do have a phone. You're going to need a driver's license of each person that's an authorized agent. You're also going to need to show that you're a verified citizen in case you're not, and also a photocopy of your dealer's license. Now, let me show you how easy this is, because it's all step by step, okay? You can Google e-services, Georgia e-services, or you can go right to georgiadealer.com and click on the e-services link there. And this is the Georgia Drives E-Services website. So we're going to scroll down here, and what you want to do now, since they have changed the law, you have to click apply for dealer registration, and I'll let you know it's going to take about 15 minutes here. So you need to allot just a little bit of time to do this, and I'll show you how right now. We're going to scroll through here, and more than likely you're going to be an independent dealer because you're not a franchisor, which means you operate independently from any manufacturer. That's why we're called independent used dealers, okay? You'll need to put your plate order here. So this is how many plates you want. If you want your maximum 3, or if you think you can operate with 2 or 1, that will show you a little bit of a reduction in your insurance. And in your dealer training class, I'll talk extensively how to keep your insurance rates down. So you're going to put your contact information here and any authorized agents as well. You're going to click next. And now we're going to start uploading some documents here, okay? So first you'll enter the address of the business, and you'll enter your authorized agents, and now you're going to attach those documents. And the great thing about this system, if for some reason you're missing one of these required documents, you can save your application, go get that document scanned, and then continue the application process. Very, very easy to do. So you're one at a time. You're going to click the drop-down box here, and you're going to upload your driver's license, your dealer plate order form, your authorized agent form if necessary, your dealer's license, the photographs of your business. Remember, we got to submit the photographs through here as well, because now we've got a record with the Department of Revenue in addition to the Secretary of State Board. Okay, so the Secretary of State Board issues the license, and we basically fall under the Secretary of State. However, since we're collecting tax, the Department of Revenue has some authority over us as well. So do please keep that in mind. Okay, so you're going to upload all these documents very easily. And once you have uploaded all the documents, then it'll say uploads complete. So that's the hard part. You've gotten all those documents uploaded there, and they're going to give you kind of an estimate on what your dealer plates will cost. This is just an estimate, because now what's going to happen here is you're going to go ahead and click OK. And now the Department of Revenue is going to take a quick look at your documentation. And usually within about 3 to 5 days, they're going to send you an email that says you're approved to order your dealer plates. Okay, so at that time, they're going to send you an email, and you're going to jump on here, and you're going to go ahead and create a username and password. And I want to remind you, and I'll tell you about this in the class as well, when you're applying for the license, you are basically going to create username and passwords for about 4 different sites. But once you've gotten your license, normally you're just going to have to log on to 1 or 2 websites, but you want to make sure that you record all of your dealer license application user IDs and passwords for all these websites. And this seems complicated. It really is not. I'm going to walk you through this in your class, give you that manual that shows you exactly how to do all this, and you'll always be able to review this video right here that you are watching right now after the class. So you'll log on here very easily. And they got a security code they'll send you. Make sure that you're the person that say you are, just like any secure website that you create a username and password for. And you'll click on Action Center, and here's where you're going to order your plates. And yours won't say new vehicle dealer. Yours is going to say used. More than likely, I'm assuming that you're going to be a used motor vehicle dealer. Okay, so then you just pay for your dealer license plates, and they're going to mail them to you. And that is really the majority of the entire process of how to apply for your dealer's license. Okay, so, if you ever need to go on here and, change any information or anything like that, I'm just going to have your UCAR number here. You can easily log back on to e-services, because there's a lot of different type of services that individuals can do here. So that's something that you definitely want to be aware of. Now, I also want you to be aware that recently they have changed the expiration dates for motor vehicle dealers. In the past, they always expired March 31st of even years. They've changed this date, okay? And the reason they changed this is because licensure periods for dealers coincided with cosmetologists. And so every March, the Secretary of State was renewing every dealer's license, and the over 100,000 cosmetology licenses in the state were all being renewed at the same time, which created a great workload for the Secretary of State licensing analyst. So the board voted out a new rule. So now dealers' licenses expire September 30th of even years. So from here on out, dealer licenses expire on September 30th of even years. So when you get your license, normally it'll be good for 2 years, but when you first get your license, it will expire on September 30th of the following even year. Okay, so now you're also going to have to make sure that your bond expires on September 30th of even years. Okay, so make sure when you talk to your bonding company to get your license, the board's very clear now. You can never have your bond can't expire while you've got a license. Okay. So make sure your bonding company or insurance company can provide you with a bond, and let them know it needs to expire on September 30th of even years, of the next even year. Okay, so you'll get about a 2-year bond on that. And I want you to be aware, as we talk about in class, you are going to be required to do continuing education as well. So we're going to talk about that in your class. Now, the law is very clear here. Your continuing education cannot be taken until 9 months before your license expires. So you will not be able to take your continuing education course until January of even years. I want to repeat that. You cannot take your continuing education course until January of even years. Okay, so January of even years, you can take your course, your renewal course, and we hope you provide us the opportunity to serve you in that capacity as well. We are approved for your continuing ed. So if you're watching this video and right now maybe you're a currently licensed dealer, I think you're going to find some value in the continuing education course. It's a really, in my opinion, it's a really good one. So I guess I'm kind of partial to it, but it is definitely a great course. So do please keep that in mind. Okay, dealer licenses now expire on September 30th of even years. This is a new board rule. And once again, when you get that license, in your class, I'm going to really drive this home as well. You got to display your dealer's license, your business license, your sales tax license, and your dealer surety bond. Okay, so do please keep that in mind. If you ever change anything to your license, you need to notify the state within 30 days, and I will show you exactly how to do that. If you have any licensing questions, you're going to be able to call 844-753-7825. And I found more success, or at least a more prompt response, by dropping an email at business.registration@dor.ga.gov. Okay, and usually they'll answer every question that comes in here within a business day or so. So if you have questions, they're going to have answers. And this is a great business because you do have unlimited technical support from state agencies. Okay, and there's not many other businesses that you can start where you have unlimited technical support from some state agency where you can call or drop an email. There's not many businesses you can do that, but with a dealer's license, you do have unlimited technical support from state agencies. So that's why I always say this is one of the world's greatest businesses, because not only can it be very lucrative and profitable, but you're going to have unlimited technical support from a state agency. Hey, with that being said, as I want to let everyone know that takes a class, or maybe you're watching on the website right now, you can review all this content going to georgiadealer.com, click on the Georgia dealer links, and that was the dealer application right there. And as we go through here, I'm going to have a lot of newer updated updated videos at the very top of the website. So, when there's new rules that go into effect and things like that, then you're going to be able to just click right here and easily find out the brand new laws. So I'm going to really encourage you after the class, or maybe before you've taken the class, click on the videos link there. And as new rules change or new regulations, we'll put those videos at the very, very top of the book. So hopefully that's helpful for you. And once again, my name is Dallas Johnson. You can go to georgiadealer.com, click on the class schedule link if you're interested in taking a dealer training class. Find a class schedule near you, or click that blue enroll button, and you can go ahead and register for your class if you haven't already taken it. My name is Dallas Johnson. I will be giving that class to you, and I certainly look forward to the opportunity to earn your business as your dealer license training partner. Thank you very much. I want to wish the very best of luck to you in the operation of your business.